You know the interesting thing? Most people don't know about the global talent visa.
Yeah, I never knew.
So
about
I've applied for a lot. They'll ask me, what visa are you on? I said global talent. I said, what kind of visa is that? I always say tier 1. Yeah. That's what I say. Once I say tier 1, they get it.
Welcome to the Sam and Ray podcast.
Welcome back again to another episode of the Sam and Ray podcast. This week we have an exciting topic and also
our first guest.
Yeah, our first guest on the podcast.
Interesting.
So we're happy to have Mr. Kofi Jackson. He's here to talk to us about the Global Talent Visa. I'm sure most of us have heard about the Global Talent Visa.
Yeah.
So we have him to tell us more about it because he is currently on the Global Talent Visa. So he has more experience and knowledge about it. So today we'll be dwelling on his experience on the Global Talent Visa. Ray?
Yeah. I think we can let him introduce himself when you're ready.
Hi all. So I am Kofi Jackson. I've been on the Global Talent Visa for 2 years. No, I'm in my second year now. I came to the UK in 2021. Prior to that, I was working in Asia as an assistant researcher in machine learning domain.
Nice.
And then I got tired, so I decided to move to a different continent, and here we are in the UK.
We're happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we'll be asking you a couple questions today
Sure.
about the Global Talent Visa so that we can learn from your experiences. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that are trying to navigate this and they don't have a lot of information, or some of this information is like they need to pay for it or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is just to share your experiences and give one or two pieces of advice to people out there. So yeah, I'll kick off with the first question. So can you let us know what field or industry that you currently specialize in?
So I currently work within the data sector, more specifically data and analytics, and my role mostly focused around like business analysis, more of business data architect. So on a day-to-day, what I do is more around engaging with stakeholders, trying to understand what sort of analytical capabilities that they want to make informed decisions.
Yeah.
And so I go and then I do some analysis based on the data and then think of a proper way to implement what the business want, and I hand it over to the technical guys. I've moved away from purely technical stuff to doing a lot of the thinking, because even though I'm a technical person, it's not for me. I get bored easily. I enjoy talking with people, so that's
nice.
what I do on a day-to-day. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's a very hot industry. I think recently data analytics and cybersecurity are the very top
Yep.
industries to go
Yeah.
into.
Yep.
Yeah, so how did you get to know about the Global Talent Visa in the first place? Because like you said, you were in Asia.
Yeah.
And then you moved to the UK.
Yeah.
So how did you yourself get to know about it? Because not a lot of people know about it.
When I finished my PhD, the plan was to probably relocate to...
Is that in Asia? You did
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the plan was to relocate to North America.
Or Canada?
Yes, North America, Canada, US, wherever that it was. But the immigration process, due to COVID, there was a lot of backlog and it was very slow.
Oh dear.
So my Nigerian friend, had mentioned that his friend is in the UK and he got to the UK through Global Talent. And so we put our heads together and we started doing our research and all that. He was the first to apply. He got it.
Wow.
And then he came.
I need a friend like that.
Yeah.
I need to check my second friend.
Yeah, he came.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then I also did my process. The first time I was rejected,
Okay.
and then I applied again, and then I got it. But the reason why I was rejected, we'll probably get there.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
No, I'm curious. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how was your experience navigating this visa application process?
Yeah. I think it was very straightforward. Not going to sugarcoat it. For me, it was very straightforward. The reason why I'm saying it was very straightforward was because when I was coming from a purely research academia background, and so in terms of a lot of the things that they wanted,
You had.
I could prove that it has been done.
Nice.
If I had just come from like just working experience, I'd have probably struggled with a lot, because, for example, my supervisor was the head of the IBM Institute that I was doing my research. So it was easy to get people to give me recommendations, because in academia you get to know people that are out there. So I think overall the process was very smooth. It probably took me a week to get all my documents right, because I knew what was required. The tricky bit, the reason why I said a week was probably because of the personal statement, because my personal statement, I kept on revising it and revising it and revising it and revising it. But so generally it was very smooth. It wasn't really
Wow.
difficult. I mean,
Okay.
in that sense.
Okay. Is the global talent, a lot of people will be listening to us, but is the global talent visa for everybody?
When you say everybody, so far as you are in the tech space, yes. If you're not in the tech space, then it's a no. No, not because I am saying no, but because based on the stipulations from UK government and the endorsing body, they want people in the tech space. So far as, sorry, go on.
I feel like I've come across it somewhere that people that are like fashion designers and stuff, I think they have come from Nigeria to the UK under this visa. So is global talent only for like people in tech space? So you're saying it's more for people in the tech space?
No, when I say it's more for people in the tech space, what I mean by that is someone could be a graphic designer, but they can do UX design, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it depends on how they present their experience.
Yeah.
Right.
You could have been, for example, a project manager, right? But your project manager you could have made your evidence made your evidence around software engineering or tech space. But your experience is probably not in that domain, but you've been able to prove that you can do this. So that's why I'm saying that it's for tech people. It makes it easier. If you're in tech, it makes it easier to do it. But even if you're not in tech and your domain aligns, because I have friends that a friend that did electrical engineering. But his area was more around designing like the board, the electrical side of it. That's digital stuff. It's digital space, so it's huge. But like I said, it depends on how you're going to present your evidence. So it's for everyone, but it's easier if you're in the tech space. If you're not in the tech space, you need to know how you're going to present your experience to align with the digital technology.
I feel like to buttress his answer, it also has to do with like the demand that the UK government wants.
Yeah.
So like he said, I know that there are different like endorsing bodies.
Yeah, you're right.
So with like Technician does the
Tech side.
tech side, and then there's another body that does.
Yeah, that's true.
But depending on it's all up to the UK government, and their demand is tech.
Yeah.
I think.
You made a point. Sorry. I think this conversation in my mind is solely on Tech Nation. That's why
Okay.
I didn't think of the other bodies.
Yeah.
Initially, my plan was to go with the UK. I think is the body for endorsing like research and like the purely academia side of
okay,
things.
yeah.
But I was lacking with one requirement in the sense that I needed a professor from the UK to give me a recommendation letter.
Okay.
And so in that way, I had to retune myself and go to Tech Nation because Tech Nation, I didn't need that.
Yeah, okay.
And there are so many. If you're somebody that's into arts and drawing, there's a whole body for that. So you just need to find your area
Yeah.
and then find. But tech space specifically, Tech
Go to
Nation.
Tech Nation.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks for that. Cool. So, how do you find the professional opportunities in the UK on this visa compared to other types of visa, especially the skilled worker visa? Do you think people, for example, have more opportunities, like the types of job you get, on the global talent visa compared to skilled worker visa? Definitely, I can already tell that skilled worker is quite limiting in terms of like, you have to stay with one employer, that kind of thing. But in terms of like the jobs available out there as well, are there?
I think if you're in the tech space, there are opportunities there. However, I need to make it very clear to people that have plans of coming to the UK to work. It might be difficult the first few months, but once you get a job, you've gotten it.
Oh yeah, because if you are coming from outside the country,
Yep.
you're not coming as far. You're coming to start working.
Yeah.
Compared to skilled worker, you are starting with your employer.
Yes.
But with
Yeah.
global talent, you don't have to work. You
Yeah.
can be self-employed and stuff like that.
Yes,
So yeah,
you can be
you're
self-employed. And then even on being on the skilled
right.
worker visa, I think it's all good. The only the only downside to that one is around just sticking with one employer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want to switch, it's
Extra
yeah,
cost.
yeah. Global talent visa, you're a man or a woman of your own. You choose who you want to work with, and then you move on. But like I said, if you're coming from an African country, say Ghana or Nigeria, and you're moving here, you need a strong mind because you're going to apply for a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
Because when I came, I was probably applying for like 50 jobs in a day.
Do you know, I've always felt like if you're applying for jobs and you have global talent visa, employers wouldn't even think twice as far, this one needs, like, do you get what I'm saying? So like with skilled worker visa, though, if you need a skilled worker visa, it's like, we can't give it. In fact, it already limits
I get your
the amount
point.
of jobs you apply for. But
I
with
get
global
your
talent, you apply to any and everywhere.
You know the interesting thing? Most people don't know about the global talent visa.
Yeah.
I never knew.
So
about
I've applied for a lot. They'll ask me, what visa are you on? I said global talent. I said,
And they're
what
like,
kind
"Oh,
of visa is
that."
that? I always say tier 1.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Once I say tier 1, they get it.
get it.
But if you say global talent,
that-
they
what's
say,
that?
oh, send proof. What type of visa is that? Blah, 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 blah. But I think skilled worker, they know that, okay, everybody knows what a
that
skilled
they
worker
also-
visa is, you know?
Yeah. Is that want to sponsor you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, yeah.
Okay. Nice. Are there any challenges? I mean, everybody sees the upside to global talent visa, but like, are there any challenges you've personally faced while working in the UK under this visa, if any?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I mean, it's the best visa as well.
Not that I can think of. I
Then
mean,
one.
I mean, it's very good because if you look, the Home Office, they've defined a lot of these things in a sense that they want people that are coming in to be experts are contributing to the UK digital space.
Yes.
You know, we all know of what's happening in the other spaces,
Yeah.
you know, but the tech space is the backbone,
Yeah.
you know, of so they know that once you come in, of course you're gonna pay taxes. Of course you're gonna contribute to the economy, you know. So I've not really encountered or probably faced any
Challenges.
no challenges. No challenges.
Amazing. Okay, so applying for the Global Talent Visa. What I know, like they ask you, like there are a series of questions that you have to answer according to like the application. There are documents that you have to provide.
Yeah.
What documents would you say are the most difficult for maybe like the general applicant to provide?
I would say every document is difficult. Difficult in a sense that, for example, you might have an experience of having developed like an amazing software or an app, right?
Yeah.
Everybody does that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody. If you go to India, every day people are building app, people are doing stuff. What makes you
Unique,
different?
Different.
Do you get it? So you have the evidence, but it's how you present it to them. And that's why I always, you need to back it with a lot of statistics.
Oh my god.
So for example, your company created, say, a software for a parking ANPR, license plate recognition,
Yeah.
right? For parking. A lot of people are doing it, but what makes yours different? You can talk about how it has probably cut down the number of people that were not paying, and how that has contributed to the local economy. How many jobs has it raised? It just spreads across. It's not just the little space that you're in. You need to know how, in other words,
Impacted people.
elaborate, and
You need to blow your trumpet.
blow your blow your trumpet, like blow it till it blows away. That's what I think. The document side, yep. Most importantly, before we started the podcast, I was telling you guys the most important thing, in my opinion, is your personal statement.
Yeah.
Your personal statement shouldn't just be copy and paste. Don't even think of it.
Or AI.
Or AI, ChatGPT. Don't even think of it. Because you could probably use ChatGPT
To refine it.
refine what you've written. That's absolutely fine in my opinion. But don't think of telling ChatGPT what to write.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, your story has to be your story. It has to be unique.
Yeah.
If I pick up your personal statement and I'm reading it, it has to tell me a story.
Yeah.
I've done this, I've done that, I've been cited in this paper, I received this award.
Yeah.
It has to be personal.
It
very
has to be
personal.
very, very
not sounding
personal.
generic.
It has to be very, very Tell you what, if I let you read my personal statement, right, you probably think, oh, this guy, he's a professor emeritus. I've done everything that's in there, but it's how I presented it to them. And that's what I think is very important. You need to sharpen your writing skills. Even if your writing skills is bad, build your skeleton, find somebody that can read through, give you feedback, revise it. Don't copy and paste.
So if you were to, we have details already on how much these visa costs out there, but sometimes you can't really do it all on your own.
Yep.
And you probably have to go through some people to help you with this, help you with that, whatever. I don't know if you did that, but generally, during your process, if you were to give a range for how much you spent in total, how much would you say one should budget if they want to go on Global Talent Visa?
If you're doing it by yourself, I did everything by myself.
Let's do money and time. So how much time does it take for one person to prepare from preparation to application, and then you can do the money as well?
All right. I think the time stamp, it varies in a sense that you need to go through the criteria that they've given, look at the ones that you think you qualify, and look at the ones that you think you don't qualify and see what you can do to achieve in it. For example, you need a GitHub. You have to start contributing to open source project. You need Stack Overflow. You need to start building on all those things.
Right.
So somebody that's not a contributor to open source project, you probably have to give yourself a year or 6 months
build that
to
up.
start
Doing that.
contributing to the open source space. You know, you could probably do your own mini Python library
Yeah.
and then share it with the tech community. That's part of contributing to the tech. So if you don't have those things, you need to start doing those things now. That will help.
True.
It's not complicated.
Wow.
It's just making that effort that every day I will go on Stack Overflow, look at questions that are there, give it a shot,
Yeah, contribute.
try to answer it. Now, if you are somebody that have done that, you can do your evidence probably in a week. You can gather it and if you have somebody that's guiding you on what to and on how to present it,
Yeah.
you can do that within a week. Now, once you've done that, if I remember correctly, probably forgotten, 400 to 600 plus pounds for the stage 1 application, right? And once you do that, it takes probably like 3 weeks, if I remember correctly.
Standard.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's nothing like
Priority.
priority in this one.
Yeah, for the endorsement, there's no
Yeah.
Okay.
You can. I remember I was telling you guys that I got rejected the first one. It took probably like 4 or 5 weeks, and the second one it probably took like 2 weeks. So case by case,
Yeah,
you know how the home office works. So it depends on what the people are working there, what type, how many cases that they have looking at. So you do that, you get your endorsement, and then you go to the second stage, which is then applying to gov.uk. If you get exceptional talent, you get 3 years. If you get promise, you get 5 years. Now, in terms of the NHS surcharge, you can pay the years that you think you can afford to pay. And then you can then renew it, and then you have to pay the charges and all the other things that come with it. You don't have to pay all the 5 years at a go, because mind you, you're moving to another country. It's going to cost you money. Or even if you're in the UK, it's still going to cost you money. You know?
£1,000 per year.
Yeah, £1,000 per year. Imagine you're paying 5 years. That's £5,000.
5K. And that's just IHS.
That's you've exactly. So yeah, so that's, I think overall, if you budget say 1,001, you should probably go through the 1,000 or 1,002. You should be fine with that.
Nice. Lots of insights from today's topic. Just to round up, what advice would you give to someone considering applying for this global talent visa? If you don't mind, I want to break it into like someone coming from outside the UK, like you did, and someone within the UK that is probably on, I don't know, dependent or student or skilled worker visa, something like that. So if you can just kind of...
First things first, go for it. Believe in yourself, go for it. The good thing, one thing that I love about the Home Office or the endorsement body is that even when you are rejected, they will tell you why.
The reason, yeah.
You know, they will tell you why you were rejected. You can then take time, build yourself, and then apply again. The next time you're applying, you know what to do. Now, people back home, if you decide to apply, I would say go for it. At the same time, it is important that you get someone that has applied before to look over
To guide you.
whatever that you've done, to give you tips on that.
Yeah.
You know, you can go on, I think it's called the Tech Nation. They've got a discourse. I'll send you the link. You could probably put it in there for people. It's a chat where people ask questions, people put their feedback, and
Wow.
it's any question anything that I've said today, if you go there and you search for it, you probably find people giving their answers there. It's a community. People are willing to support because, mind you, it's a tech space. We are all interested in the tech side of things. It's not necessarily about the money. Of course, it's about the money, but it's a tech space. So there are people that are you have a community. So I can share the link. People that are living in the UK, if you're dependent and you're in that domain, you are in the tech space, start building your portfolio. Start building your portfolio. If you're home, you don't need to rush. You can give yourself a year or two, build your portfolio. And as you're building your portfolio, you need a mentor to then tell you, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then they once they look at your document, if you qualify, they will give it to you. So
nice. I think one key takeaway for me is so like how all these other visas, you don't need to do a lot of like research per se. You just need to, like skilled worker, you just need to like literally have the work experience or whatever it is and get the job, right? But like with global talents, there's that bit of research that is from what I have gotten. You need to do your research very well and take your time to like package everything properly. So I think for me, what I've gained here is like go for it, but like if you can't just wake up and say I want to apply for global talent visa, who are you? Like you have to make, even if you do have all the talent, everything requirements that you think they require, like still take your time, do that research, make sure you do have everything, and make sure you spend that time to like package it. So give yourself some time. Don't just wake up one day and just like go for it. Like take that time to package it very, very well, because I mean, if you get your visa rejected, you didn't get refund, right? You won't get your refund.
That money is gone.
So, I mean, that money aside though, but like it's always just good to just do it well and do it right. So yeah.
For me, I'm coming from the side that like I've heard of it. I think I heard of it last year, but I've always been like scared to apply.
Same here.
Because I feel like I'm not up to the level where I'll be accepted. But yeah, thanks to Mr. Jackson for coming to explain. I think he's encouraged me, even just with a bit of him telling us of his experience of like failing the first time and then applying again. So at least like it's the best visa out there with, like you said,
Tier 1.
Tier 1. So if you are in the tech space and you're in the UK, why not like just go for it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I've been encouraged in this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure other listeners as well.
Definitely.
This will be very
and always ask.
Yes.
Ask questions.
Always ask questions.
Yeah.
You're better off asking people and they don't reply you. At least you made an effort. Just ask. Yeah. If you know that this person has done it and they've succeeded, send them an email, whatever that it is. They might not get back to you. Life in the UK, nobody will probably respond. But at least they could probably jump on a quick call with you and tell you what you need to do, what you have to do, and then you will be, because there are a lot of people that are out here charging a lot of money. Especially the law firms and other stuff. They're charging people a lot of money. But there are some people that will give it out freely because what's the point?
If you don't ask or if you don't try, you never know.
Nice. That's why we're here. We're here to share all the information out to you guys for free. So make sure you guys keep listening to us. Once again, thank you, Kofi.
Thank you so much
for joining us.
Thank
for joining us and being our first host. First guest. Why don't you pick this mistake? Thank you so much. It was really great to have you today and learn so much from you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. And I guess that's it for today, and we'll see you guys in our next episode.
Make sure to like. Make sure to follow. Make sure to share it to your friends as well. All right, catch you guys in a bit. Bye.